Hey guys, Jordan from nuCamp here. Today we're going to be going over condensation in your camper. Condensation can cause mold and mildew, which is bad for your health, and it is also bad for your camper. So we're going to go over some ways you can reduce condensation in your camper.
Tip number 1. Ventilate your windows when you are out camping.
So the windows have two modes. You have the fully closed position for these windows, but then you also have an additional ventilation position. Now this will keep a small gap open that you can pull air through whenever you want to ventilate the camper but keep the windows closed. This first slot is the ventilate position, and then this outer catch is the closed position. So that is ventilate, then one further is fully closed.
If you want to close your blinds while in ventilation mode, be sure to leave a small portion of the screen open to allow for airflow. Keep in mind that leaving your shades drawn for extended periods can cause warping and loss of their folds, which may affect their functionality. To preserve their condition, always retract the shades when storing your camper or when traveling.
Now, having the windows in ventilate mode is good when you're stationary, but you do want to make sure to fully close the windows before you hit the road. If the windows are not in the fully closed position, then you could risk blowing them out just from the high winds on the highway. So you can tell from the outside if you can stick fingers up through the window. Normally when the window is fully closed, you won't be able to do that. You can tell even from the outside that these windows are closed because there is no gap.
Tip number 2. Use your roof vent fan to prevent condensation. For optimal airflow, be sure to open your vent and run the fan, even at a low speed. This simple step helps maintain a dry and comfortable environment inside your camper. Tip number 3. Ensure your mattress is well ventilated from all sides during long-term storage.
If you're putting your camper into storage, it's usually a good idea to move the mattress somewhere where you're going to have better airflow. If your camper has a Frawley system, then this will do a good job of keeping the mattress ventilated whenever you're camping. But when you're putting it into storage, it's a good idea to put this up somewhere where it's going to have good access to airflow, just so you don't get mold and mildew issues.
Tip number 4. Ventilate your fridge during storage.
Now, if you're storing the fridge long term, you're going to want to turn it off. Many fridges have a ventilation mode for storage. In this case, this fridge has a slider that you can adjust to put it into ventilate mode. So you can see that there's a small gap to allow for airflow so you don't get mold or mildew buildup. When you take the fridge out of storage, you'll want to switch this back to lock mode so that the fridge securely locks. That way it doesn't come open while you're driving down the road.
Tip number 5. How to store your camper when you have access to shore power.
So if you're storing your camper somewhere where you have access to shore power, then you can put the windows into ventilate mode and use your roof vent fan to pull air up through the windows and out of the camper to help keep that area ventilated. You also have the option to shut all the windows and then plug in something like a dehumidifier and just make sure you check it regularly and empty the bin.
Tip number 6. How to store your camper if you do not have access to shore power.
If you do not have access to shore power where you're storing your camper, then it may be better to close all the windows up tight and use something like a damp rid or some other moisture absorber in the camper, so that way it pulls all the moisture out of the air and helps prevent any buildup. Thanks for joining us. If you have any further questions, you're welcome to email us at tech@nucamprv.com. Thanks for watching.